And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to helping you win in any marketplace. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. And we want to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage you in an effort to help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, we want you to save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it, 813-670-7372.
Here's my number, so call me maybe.
813-670-7372. And, of course, that's 670-REQB. Check out our website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you at our website, consumerqb.com. You can watch the live stream television version of our show at consumerqb.com. And you can also see links to all of our expert contributors, 80-plus show partners, CPAs, financial advisors, mortgage experts, home experts, marketing experts. So many ways that we can help you win. It's a great place to get a lot of resources there at consumerqb.com. Platinum MVP Realty as well as our premier sponsor, and we've got an all-star lineup here today. Ruth Watkins back in studio.
Hey.
Welcome back in, Ruthie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love being here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an awesome place where we can together help people against the mainstream media.
That's right. That negativity out there, we're gonna tell you something positive, keep
That's
it upbeat
right.
and energetic, and local economy. Support your local economy here in Tampa Bay. Ruth Watkins, Team Go Loans, GSF Mortgage. Also in studio, Louise Harris. Welcome back.
Hi, Brandon. It's great to be here. Today I want to talk about why you want to write a book and how to go about that. And
I like it. I like it. Yeah, writing a book, so you're ghostwriting, you're helping people with press releases, you're helping people with writing books or articles or blogs. So Louise is doing a great job helping us with press releases. For example, we've got a event coming up here on the 21st, April 21st. We got an event where I'm going to be speaking on stage at the Global Wealth Summit on the 21st over at St. Petersburg Marriott Clearwater on the 21st. Check it out. It's the Wealth Summit. Lisa Nichols, she's a star of the movie The Secret. She's in that movie, as well as James Arthur Ray. Jay Lee's going to be there speaking, as well as myself. So doing a press release for that, getting out ahead of the traffic, letting people know. There's actually a media section there at this event where local media can post up and have all their cameras. So the power of press releases. We're going to talk about that.
right.
Awesome. Good stuff. So I want you to check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. Check out our book, and we would love for you to take a look at it. Leave us a nice review. We appreciate the reviews online. There's so much nowadays with being properly reviewed online and sharing and liking and all that good stuff online. So back here in studio, we're helping you win. Shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill. Our official restaurant partner is Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Plaza. Excellent food, a wide variety on the menu, excellent wait staff, very friendly wait staff, and we have a special offer for our fans of the Consumer Quarterback Show. They're offering something special. It's a free appetizer. So for the longest time, we were offering that free water with lemon. I know you took us up on that offer, but now we've stepped our game up. We got a free appetizer going on. We got tomato and mozzarella caprese. You've got the spicy shrimp and eggplant, beef carpaccio, calamari, and so much good stuff there at Brio Tuscan Grill. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. They're going to hook you up with that free appetizer. It's at the International Plaza as well. All right, so let's jump right into it. We're going against the nonsense in the mainstream media. Yep. We don't care if they're climbing a corporate ladder out there or if they throw a ladder in their truck. We're going to help them win.
That's right. I'd like to throw out an example, something today, right? I disclosed a package to a borrower, one of my team members did. And that borrower came back with a little bit of confusion and said, hey, here was this rate that I was quoted.
Yep.
The date on that rate was October 2017. So obviously that's not going to be the same deal. Since the presidency, we've had multiple increases.
Yeah.
When bonds go up, rates go down. When bonds go down, rates go up. It's a everyday changing thing. And I can tell you for the last 2 weeks, on a regular basis, I'm getting information that's alert to lock and things like that. Mm-hmm. So people that don't get those kind of alerts really have no idea, and they can go for teaser rates, and they really don't understand behind the scenes what happens. Additionally, when it comes to disclosing a loan with your loan estimate, as a lender, you're the very first person, and you are estimating for everyone else. So you're estimating for a title company, a surveyor, an insurance company, and all of these things that you're factoring in.
Yep.
A good lender will actually cushion those things for you, which is not going to be your actual fees, actual cost, but they're going to protect your loan so that they validate sufficient funds to close. And it's a matter for your approval for your loan so that it's smooth.
Under promise, over deliver.
That's right. Because if I use an $1,800 insurance quote and it comes in and it's $900, well, bang, you're going to save that. Obviously, that loan estimate is just that, an estimate. So I urge people, don't get freaked out over figures that are there to protect your loan approval.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. And the process can be it can be challenging or it can be simplified.
Right.
And what I like about Ruth and her team is you simplify it. You make it easy for the listeners, for the viewers of our show. Everybody that's reached out, they've had a great experience. And it's one of those. The other big thing that just rings in my head is why people would walk into one of these big banks that took the bailout money. They give their CEOs the $1,000 or the $1 million parachute rides on the way out the door. And I don't understand why people go to these big banks. We want you to support our local economy here, support a local company.
Right.
Ruth is a local company based here in the Port Richey area, and you're helping people every day.
Yeah, every day, all over Florida. Even as a regional manager, I continue to even produce just because of my desire to help people. So most of my team handles loans, but I will obviously do it. I can streamline the process and get them to closing a lot faster. I'm sort of like the loan surgeon. So whatever loan it is, I jump into whoever. But the thing is, what you say about the big parachutes and out the door, that's where they went, out the door.
Yeah. So
the people left standing there, and not to be disrespectful, but bottom line, experience is key.
Yeah.
And if you were hired for this job and this job, that's really all you know. You don't know the next step and the next step. Or you may have a philosophy of what happens, but you can't foresee the potential problems. You don't see it staring you in the face, so you know how to overcome it before it's there, so that the buyer doesn't feel it or the buyer is aware of it, so you can correct it, and then you can move forward. And because at the end of the day, it's about closing that loan in 30 days or less.
Yeah. And it's the system too. A lot of it's the system. It's the platforms that they have. It's the so for example, you walk into one of these big banks, they're going to be kind of like an old school. Just to use a sports analogy, they're going to be like an old school team that's going to be running the option. All they're going to do is run the option. They're going to have a handoff down the middle or a quick pitch to the outside. Almost every play is going to be the same, and it's predictable. Now when you have a forward thinking company, they're going to be running a pro style offense, maybe like a West Coast style offense that's going to have all these different flares and swing passes and deep routes, stretch the field vertically. Then you're running the underneath stuff to open up on the third downs.
Right.
So it's a whole completely different model.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many examples that the person that started on the front line on not that type of scenario, they're just as surprised as the client.
Right.
So it's like then what do they say? Then they don't answer your phone. They don't know what to tell you. Oh well, go somewhere else. At the end of the day, the person left with the misery is you. And obviously your agents are disappointed for you because they're there to help you get the loan closed, get your home that they showed you that you're excited about. So your financing, it's crucial that it is completely arranged, understood, and a path written that you're going to walk down it and it's going to be done. And quite other than the regulations where you have to supply the documents that are required because of today's regulations, it should be a fairly smooth process.
It really should. I mean, it should be smooth as long as you're asking their questions up front. By the way, if you just joined us, Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host. We're talking with Ruth Watkins. She's a regional manager, teamgoloans.com, GSF Mortgage here in Tampa Bay. And yeah, so it's about a team approach. It's about understanding the right questions to ask up front. You know, there's certain things that you can see kind of after doing loans for as many years as you've done loans.
Oh, yeah.
You know that if there's a divorce involved, let's ask for the divorce decree. We're going to have to know how the assets were split.
Right.
If there's an income, we're going to have to prove the annuities.
And
can it
people
last?
may not know, I got divorced, 8 years ago, and I don't have those papers. I can walk them down the path, and any one of my team members can, how you can get those things.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't leave you hanging and say, we're not moving forward. We're going to give you the solution to get what it takes to get the loan done. The bottom line is the regulations are what they are. So we need to prove you have a marital settlement agreement. We need to make sure there's no child support, there's no alimony. In addition to asking you that, we have to validate that, Also, we also have to validate transcripts, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes people delay their tax returns. And when you're applying for a home loan, the IRS, especially this time of year, is not the fastest in town.
Right, yeah.
So, it may take them a while to validate those. So if you want to be proactive yourself, get your paperwork done, start your folder. We talked about that earlier in another show, and we can go over that again.
Yeah. All right, so more from Ruth Watkins, teamgoloans.com. We're expecting Sean Fabre to come in as well. Fabre Frameworks as our real estate photographer, and Louise Harris, last research and editing here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So more of a real estate market update when we come back, what's happening with the market, and Irish firefighters save woman by her fingertips in river rescue. Stay with us for our Feel Good Story of the Week. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. Featured in Florida Realtor Magazine multiple times, Top Agent Magazine, the Tampa Bay Business Journal, and helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their properties. Got a hot property over in Clearwater. This one's on Mandalay Avenue, 1024 Mandalay, Clearwater, 2-bedroom, 2-bath property, over 1,800 square feet, split floor plan on the north side of Clearwater Beach. $1 million property here in Tampa Bay, 9825 Wilski Boulevard, $1.5 million, 4 bedrooms, 3 full baths, 2 half bath, and it's a beautiful property. It's exquisite for entertaining, and this is a perfect home in the West Chase area. It's a very unique opportunity to own a large estate style home here outside of West Chase, and you've got vacant lots on both sides. You got privacy, and you also have a large lake in the back. So beautiful property, 9825 Wilski Boulevard in Tampa. Check it out, and on our website, PlatinumMVPRealty.com. And all of the real estate photography is compliments of Fabre Frameworks. They do a great job, photography, videos, doing a great job on our real estate properties. Beautiful places here in Tampa Bay. And our hotel partner is Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. It's a whitewashed Mediterranean palace with expansive luxury suites, and they do have a 20% discount for all of our listeners. All you have to do is let them know you heard the Real Estate Quarterback Show, the Consumer Quarterback Show, and that we referred you over. You're going to save 20% off. They're going to put a bottle of wine and a nice appetizer in your room. Spanish ancestry, cool Mediterranean attitude. Beautiful 360 rooftop lounge with gorgeous views overlooking the Gulf of Mexico here in Tampa Bay. So we're real excited for you to check out the Hotel Zamora Castile restaurant on site as well, restaurant, lounge, and rooftop bar, 360 rooftop bar. All right, back here in studio helping you win. We're talking with Ruth Watkins. She's the regional manager for TeamGoLoans.com. We've got Louise Harris in studio as well. Louise is going to be talking about writing books, ghost writing, helping you with your blogs, helping you write press releases, a lot of cool ways that you can kind of help your business grow. And let's go back to Ruth now. Ruth, so here we are. We're in the middle of what month are we in? April here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can't believe it.
So Q1 is down, and we got 3 Qs to go, 3 quarters to go. So it's a great time to make adjustments. You know, if you're a business owner out there, you can make adjustments. If you're a homeowner, maybe you're a renter.
Measure and adjust.
That's right.
You know, and then I would say that applies to buyers as well. Very simplistic way. I'm sure everybody wants to own their own home, right? I don't know anybody who wants to continue to just pay rent. Mm-hmm. I mean, the majority of people, let's say. I see somebody shaking their head. I don't believe them. I don't believe them.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the simplest ways is, what are you paying rent, or what is your comfortable payment? Mm-hmm. We've talked about that before. Buy in your comfort zone. So to give you an example, if you were going to rent a property that was close to $300,000, you would probably expect to pay, what, $2,500, $3,000 of rent?
$1 per square foot, some cases.
Okay.
Some areas.
So that same loan that I'm doing for a buyer, which happens to be a VA, his total payment, including HOA dues, which aren't that huge, is $1,723.
Wow.
So you're talking a substantial savings versus rent. And the higher value that you get, the higher rent you would pay, but the lower mortgage you would pay.
Yeah, it's about 30% less across the board.
Yeah.
And you also get the equity and the tax deduction.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're building wealth. You're paying down your mortgage versus paying down a landlord's mortgage.
That is the best way to build wealth, today. I mean, period. I mean, whether real estate goes up and down, stocks go up and down far more aggressively, I think.
Yeah.
And as long as you're continuing to live in that house, or you're renting it and it's cash flowing, that's a solid investment. Ultimately, you'll ride the wave, but ultimately, unless your back is up against the wall for some reason, if you've done it right, you're going to build tremendous wealth.
Yeah, let's do this then. Let's do a rent versus own analysis. If we do 3 rent versus owns,
Yeah.
will you help these folks
Absolutely.
out? All right. So if you reach out, if you know of somebody, maybe it's not yourself, maybe you know of somebody that's renting, and you're kind of listening to this program, you're thinking about that person that you know or care about. Pull out your smartphone. Shoot us a text message. Text the word rent in the amount of rent that you're paying to 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline. Text rent and the amount of rent that you're paying to 813-670-7372. And Ruth Watkins, teamgoloans.com. She's going to hook you up with a rent versus own analysis. We're going to limit this to the first 3 listeners that text in. It's a lot of work on the back end to put this together. So the first 3 listeners are going to get a rent versus own analysis by texting the word rent in the amount of rent that you're paying 813-670-REQB. All right, so that's great. So we'll get some calls on that. We'll help people. We're changing lives. We're helping people go from renting.
They don't even realize a lot of times that what they're currently paying that they could be paying to own. And one of the beauties is if you go in, make an offer on a home, and you, like you do CMAs, you already know when with that buyer, you know if they're making a good offer, you're supporting them in that way. There may be meat on the bone on that appraisal, and if there is, they can also use an addendum and roll that in to cover closing costs. There's so many ways to think outside the box, to be creative, to get you into the home with less, heartache.
So let's break that down. So I buy a house for $200,000. The appraisal comes in at $205,000. You're saying what?
Write an addendum for $205,000. Seller gives $5,000 back to the closing costs.
Nice. So now the seller wins. He's still getting the same deal.
He's still getting the deal. Deal's the same. Yeah.
Buyer's going to win because he's going to be able to use a little bit of equity to come out of pocket with less money out of pocket.
Right.
I like it.
And then they move right on in with a similar payment or less than what they were paying.
Yeah. I like that. And then Team Go Loans, GSF Mortgage, Ruth Watkins, she's going to get a lot of positive reviews on Google for coming up with that.
Oh, yeah. And, it's a really cool strategy because I don't think it's widely used.
Yeah.
It's just something that it's like, hey, in what other way can I help a buyer? And it's, whoa, bam, there it is. So we always try to think of things that are going to be unique.
Yeah, how can you value add? Tony Robbins, my favorite, talks about, value adding. If you add more value than your competition does, then you're going to become in demand. You're going to be able to add more value, charge a higher price, whatever the scenario is for your business, by adding more value, thinking outside the box, doing things differently, innovating in your space, and creating that differentiation factor, you're going to be able to, carry that throughout your process there.
Right, absolutely. And every situation is different. But every situation has some way to look at it uniquely, and whether it's right now or down the road. And I can just tell you, I had a consult with someone a month ago that absolutely did not qualify, but did what I told them, and we're in the middle of the process. So, it's just about talking to someone that knows the ins and outs and will think about it for you rather than when you get off the phone, next app.
Or make an assumption. That's a big thing. I think a lot of times people make an assumption. Oh, well, I don't have the scores. I don't have the money. I'm just going to assume that I can't do it. So you're going to be able to put them back on the track.
Yeah.
They reach out to us. We're going to get them in touch with William Crowley, the credit magician, maybe. Maybe they need a little credit love.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that we can do that.
Yeah, I actually, that's part of the passion of this business is knowing the answers, right? That's why I do it. I don't want to be, sitting here, clock
Shuffling
in,
paperwork.
clock out. Yeah. I mean, to me, that's part of the adrenaline.
Yeah.
That you get.
Yeah, that is.
And that's why I've been doing it over 30 years. And it's like I don't have to work. I really don't.
Yeah.
But I'm always rewarded. I'm always feeling that with getting people in their homes. And, if I thought of it and someone else didn't, hey, kudos, but kudos to them.
That's right. Ruth Watkins here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. So, and I've seen it personally as well, where there was a call that came into me. It was some kind of a mix up with somebody's escrow account, this older couple.
Yeah.
I put you on a conference. I wasn't sure where the call was going to go. You took hours out of your day to help these folks with no commission. There was no commission there.
No, I believe I'm very spiritual in a way that I believe what goes around comes around.
Yep.
I don't expect It just takes care of itself.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, you're more patient than I am. Give it to you. But I have the same philosophy of helping. But it's sometimes the phone's just ringing too much.
It does.
Busy,
it does.
but-
And I did it off. I set it up, and then I talked to them after hours when I could do that. But
Yeah.
we did resolve their problem.
Yeah, that's awesome. Kudos to Ruth Watkins there. And coming up, we got Louise Harris here on the other side of the break. We're going to talk with Louise Harris about press releases, growing your business through. I love this idea of writing your own book. I've written a couple books myself, and with the help of a ghostwriter, so Louise can help you with that. And it's the whole idea of differentiation, innovation, becoming your celebrity, becoming a celebrity in your market, and especially so much now on social media, Facebook, Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, if you're not on these sites, you're just literally getting lost behind years and years of advancement from your competitors. And taking that further within the next 3 years, there's going to be a lot of money from the big companies, Coke, Coca-Cola, Budweiser. All these companies are going to put more money into these social media platforms, and you're going to cost a lot more money to get in front of your customers online. So stay with us here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're helping you win in any marketplace. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com, Brandon Rhymes PA, Consumer Quarterback Show, at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Twitter and Instagram, and more from our expert contributors in our feel-good story of the week. Irish firefighters save a woman by her fingertips in a river rescue. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. Going against the negative mainstream media, helping you win in any marketplace, helping you avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent in our community, and bringing to the forefront things trending, things happening in technology and business and finance. So many areas of business that we cover here on the show. We've got 80-plus show partners, CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, all types of real estate experts that we can help you win in any marketplace. That's the goal of our show. But you have to engage with us. There's the only way that you can engage is there's a couple ways that you can engage. Reaching out on social media. We'd love to reach out to you, have you friend request us and follow us on social. Brandon Rhymes 1 on Twitter, Brandon Rhymes 1. We got the Consumer Quarterback Show pages as well as our website, consumerqb.com. If you go to consumerqb.com, consumerqb.com. You can submit an email form. It comes directly through to us. We're going to make sure we get back to you before our head hits the pillow. Now, if you want to call or text, if you're a texter out there, great. We'd love to have you shoot us a message. 813-670-7372. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
And last week we had a lot of calls come in. We're helping people with credit improvement, with mortgage pre-approvals. So many ways that we're helping our listeners out there. We really appreciate those who do engage with us and reach out. Giving a shout out to Mary Maids, our official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Mary Maids. Let Mary Maids take care of your cleaning and leave the details to us. We handle your home cleaning. Mary Maids, satisfaction guaranteed. Relax, it's done. Mary Maids is on it. They are the recipients of the Women's Choice Award in 2013 to 2016 as well. America's most recommended cleaning services is Mary Maids, and it's our official partner as well. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you for special discounts and incentives. All right, back here in studio helping you win. Brandon Rhymes, I'm your host. We got Ruth Watkins in studio. She's a local mortgage expert. And we also have Louise Harris, last research and editing. And before we jump back into that content, I want to let you know about a couple of hot listings I've got. 15648 North Himes Avenue. This is a property in Carrollwood, 5 bedrooms, 4 bath, gorgeous pictures online, compliments of Fabre Frameworks, our real estate photographer, $485,000, and it's over 3,500 square feet, pool home on a cul-de-sac. What more could you want? North Forest Village, Carrollwood on Himes Avenue. Also out east, we got a beautiful property in Bloomingdale area of Riverview, 6601 Crikel Avenue, Bloomingdale area, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2,800 square feet. Got a beautiful property that's fenced in, large backyard. This is great for a family and a husband that is what you call like a motorhead. You know, they like to get out there. They get out there and work on the cars, right? You know, it's got the garage. It's got great 3-bay garage, something like that. So
Grease monkey.
Yeah, grease monkey, motorhead, whatever you want to play with in the garage. You know, sometimes the husbands, you know, they use it as an excuse to get away from the wife. I guess I heard that. I don't know. Could be a game room. Could be a lot of cool stuff. Exactly.
Man cave.
So check it out, PlatinumMVPRealty.com. You can see all of our listings there. PlatinumMVPRealty.com. All right, so in the first part of the show, we heard from Ruth Watkins. I want to bring Louise Harris into the conversation. So this whole idea about growing your celebrity, there's something behind it.
Oh, sure. And that's what I wanted to talk about is growing your celebrity by writing your own book. Because if like Ruth says, she's an expert in mortgage. She's been in it for 30 years.
Yep.
If she wrote a book, she would be an expert on mortgage, and the book would show that she's the expert on mortgage.
And I wouldn't have to talk about it, right? It's there. Here, read.
Right.
You know.
Well, it's a glorified business card. That's the traditional. It's the business card on steroids. Boom.
Right. And it becomes another marketing tool. It also is supplemental income.
Yep.
And but you have to do it right. If you just want to throw out, in fact, in the break, Ruth and I were talking about the book that she's doing, and she said it's a lot of this back and forth, and the writer that she's using is not really getting her voice down, and you have to work with the author, and the author and the ghostwriter has to work with the author to get it sounding the way they want.
Yeah, you got to get to know each other.
Yeah, you got to get to know each other, and you have to do it right. You have to. A lot of authors use outlines. I'm not one of those. I can just write from my head and know where the plot's going to go, and just let the book follow me along. But a lot of authors, they will actually plan it out. And for nonfiction, having an outline works really well because you know chapter 1 is going to be an intro chapter, and chapter 2 is going to be about mortgage rates and how you can't be sure how they go and how they're decided and things like that. So having a nonfiction book and showing that you're an expert, you would want an outline.
Yeah. Yeah, I think from what you were saying earlier too, it's about listening, not with the intent to reply. You know, totally listening. What Stephen Covey said, and his 5th habit is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Understanding builds the skills of empathic listening that inspires openness and trust.
Right.
So the more that you can do that with your client when it comes to ghostwriting.
Right. The more you do that with the client, the more you get a feel for how they are. And when I start a book for somebody, I don't start with the book. topic at all. I actually start by getting to know them personally, and then I get a feel for who they are as a person,
Right.
And then I can figure out how to write their book for them.
And one thing I always think about too from Mr. Hopkins was, become a master asker. If you're a master at asking the right questions and leading that conversation where you want it to go, or they want it to go rather.
Right. And I do that. And I think a lot of that came from my skills as a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to interview people when I was fresh out of college.
Yep.
So I use those interview skills now in all of my clients, not just the book writers, but also the ones I do press releases for, because I can't write a press release if I don't know what they want out of their press release. I have to know their goals for it. I have to know what it is that they talk about. Like with your summit that's coming up, that's an event. And writing a press release for an event is so much different than writing a press release to make you an expert.
Right.
So,
whether you're raising awareness for an event, whether you're saying, hey, for the Bitcoin example, Bitcoin's so popular now, how can we attach? And I like the idea of attaching your message or your business onto that train that's already going by about 80 miles an hour, and you're going to jump on that train kind of like a Western, right?
Right. We've talked about how you want to get on what's trending and find your spin on it. You're always going to have something happening newsworthy, like a gun shooting or something, and if you can do something with your business that connects to it, it's going to be a lot better for you and more effective.
Maybe a fundraiser. I know Thomas King from Florida Firearms Academy. He did some educational classes for children, for families, I believe, even as well at the Florida Firearms Academy after those shootings. To kind of raise awareness and help educate.
Yes, and like this month is Earth Day is April 22nd, and there's always a lot of environmentally spun press releases in April. I get flooded with them.
Yeah. Something interesting too. I hear, they, of course, people pick on the oil and gas industry, and probably rightfully so. Who knows with all those CO2s being burned. But secondly, the second largest industry that impacts the environment, most people don't realize it, is the fashion industry.
Yes.
That's the fashion industry. People don't realize how much that really impacts.
I know it does, because it uses a lot of the same things that all the other industries use. But one of the, like you were saying, the oil and petroleum, just reducing your gas emissions is actually not going to do anything for that, because the number one use of petroleum is in plastics.
Right.
And plastics is in everything.
It's everywhere. It's so much plastic.
Yeah, it can go around the world. Around the world.
So we're actually not really going to ever reduce our unless we get rid of those plastics, we're not going to reduce our petroleum.
We try to, like this glass bottle I'm drinking out, I try to drink more, of these types of bottles, but it's so hard to eliminate plastics. I mean, when you think about it, but there's documentaries done, Plastic Ocean. It's such a challenge.
But I mean, if you just look in front of you, all those computers, they have mostly plastics in them.
Yeah.
And things we use every day have plastics.
Yeah, absolutely. So Earth Day coming up, what are small things that people can do? What do you see in those press releases? What are some small things that people can do to, try to be more efficient and
a lot of things that kids do and schools are cleanups. They'll sponsor a cleanup day where they go to the park or the ocean or the beach and clean up as much trash as they can.
Yeah.
And that does actually reduce the landfill a lot by just having cleanup days. And when I was younger, I used to do Stream Team, where I would go into local streams and try to figure out whether it was healthy or not. And it was actually quite fun and quite illuminating too, that I could tell just by looking at a stream whether it was healthy versus whether it isn't. And the way you tell whether it's healthy is the type of organisms that are swimming, not the fish, but the actual organisms
on a microscopic.
Microscopic, right?
Interesting. I had a whole class when I graduated from Florida Gulf Coast University. I had a whole class that was called, I think it was called Colloquium, something like that. So it was all about going out in the environment and cleaning up and taking time out and recognizing the environment. I thought it was pretty cool. All right, so stay with us here, Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from our expert contributors and our feel-good story of the week. Irish firefighters saved woman by her fingertips in a river rescue. Stay with us here, Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. In studio with me today, Ruth Watkins, TeamGoLoans.com, GSF Mortgage. And we also have Louise Harris, Last Research and Editing. And we're helping you win no matter what you are facing. We want to jump into every day, every week, every day, we're going to tell you something good. We're going to tell you some positivity to inject into your day of all these awesome stories that are happening out there that don't get covered as often as some of the negative stuff out there. So tell me something good. All right, so we got Irish firefighters save woman by her fingertips in a river rescue. So a group of heroic firefighters dove into cold, dark water of the River Shannon in Limerick, Ireland, and saved a woman from drowning. Peter Murphy said he was and a fellow fireman, Des Fitzgerald, literally saved the woman by her fingertips as she disappeared under the water surface in the early hours of the morning. As we approached the casualty, myself, Des, and Colin saw that she had gone subsurface. So it left us with no option really but for two of us to enter the water. It was literally a fingertip save, Murphy told the Journal. Conditions were poor and it was pitch black. It was 4:30 in the morning and the tide was ripping. So you had a desperate flow going out. Visibility was very poor. It's brilliant when we save someone. Everyone plays a part, whether it's the control center or any crew member. It's something that we train for every day. It's something we love, and that's why we have joined the service. Cool story.
That's amazing. I mean, by the tip of our fingertips.
You think about how hard it is to swim and actually, find somebody underwater when it's dark, murky waters like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Man, lucky day for her.
Very lucky.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our lightning round here.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning round.
All right, so lightning round, we're going to do top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Let's start right here with Louise.
Okay, well, I have an event coming up on April 22nd. I'm going to be at the matinee opera players in Pinellas Park, and I'm going to be there selling my books. And the concert is actually quite unique if you've never been to it. They don't sing complete operas. They only sing like an aria here or there. So you get a little taste of opera. So you get culture, but you're not really an opera fanatic.
Yeah.
But this particular event, they're going to also be doing Broadway shows as well. So it should be a really fun afternoon. It'll be 3 o'clock. It's always Sunday. And 3 to 5. And I will be there selling my books, and I'll be I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. April 22nd?
Yes,
All
April
right.
22nd.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right. Ruth Watkins.
Well, I really like the fact that Louise is here today because she's very inspirational about helping people to create. I think everybody has a book in them.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that one thought came in the middle of the night to me, and I thought, that's it. How I work through fruition on that, the bottom line, it's like you don't have to be psychic to predict your future, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, what that says to me is it can in any phase of life. And so when we apply it to my world or real estate, whether you're building your wealth or someone else's wealth,
Right.
if you thought about that differently, if you planted the seeds and walked the road, you could create what you set out for yourself rather than sitting there hoping and wishing, taking action steps.
Yeah, hoping and wishing. It's people hope and they wish, and then
hoping and wishing.
Yeah, it's and then they just get lost in that scenario of just endless. I wish. It's an empowering. It's the opposite of empowering. It's a disempowering thought process when you say
It's
I
negative.
wish. Yeah,
Negative thought process.
Right.
like
It's not
wishing.
going to magically appear.
Yeah.
So, whether it takes you, 10 steps to get there or 1,500 steps to get there, you have to take the steps.
Yeah,
And then ultimately
unconsciously-
you'll get it.
And with a book, a lot of people get overwhelmed because they think, I got to come up with 250 pages.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think of it as breaking it up, and I'm going to do 10 pages a day,
You're right.
it's so much easier to absorb. And a book is only 6 by 9, so it's really a half a page.
Yep.
So if you're writing 10 pages, you're really only writing 5.
And the shorter you keep the book, the more likely your client's going to read it.
Right.
If you hand somebody a big dissertation of pages and pages with real small font, they're probably not going to read it.
Right.
But if
They
it's
don't
a
want
skinnier book, they're
short
going to read it.
attention spans.
Yeah, and for you as the entrepreneur, the business owner, the manager, the salesperson, you're going to give your best possible content, dumb it down, break it down into smaller pieces,
Right.
and give them the best that you can,
And that makes it so much easier to
rather
write.
than filling it with word
I
count.
think what you want to do is if you're writing that type of book is you're wanting to inspire someone to think. It doesn't necessarily have to be that same topic, but inspire them to think what they could do with what they're passionate about. And a perfect example for that is your book.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're talking about how to, ride the radio waves.
Yeah.
And it's really a business plan,
Yeah.
and whether it's the radio waves or whatever it is they want to apply,
Right.
it's a breakdown manual on how to do that. And
Yeah.
very fun.
Because the problem is too many people these days live on an island.
Right.
And I'm not talking about the kind where you need flood
Yeah.
insurance.
A mental island.
They live on an island called Someday I'll, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
They're on Someday I'll do this. Someday I'll take that class. Someday I'll invest in my education. Someday I'll
And
start that
someday
diet
never
plan.
comes.
Yeah.
And it never comes, just like all the country songs say, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, someday never comes. So so we're going through our lightning round. I got a tip for you here. So we talk about discipline and clear thinking. So whenever you're coming into a major decision, something maybe involving where you're going to allocate a lot of resources in your business, maybe it's something where you're going to make a large payment for something, maybe buying something that's going to help you grow, any type of major decision. Maybe it's something with a relationship, love's involved, the LOVE word. So the discipline of clear thinking is a very crucial discipline that you want to develop. So you want to think about it as a bucket of silt, a bucket of dirt that's all shaken up. It's blurry. You can't see through it. The longer you let that sit, that sediment's going to settle to the bottom and the water's going to become clear. So that's what happens in your mind. The more that you think about the process, and we're so busy today, we have all this sensory input that's hitting us from a daily basis. Thomas Edison is quoted by saying, "Thinking is the hardest of all disciplines." So when you take the time to break it down, think on paper, write it out, write all the details down, and consider the consequences and even the unintended consequences of that action. And the rule is fast decisions are usually wrong decisions. You see this in a scenario that plays out with parents. A lot of times the kids keep nagging. And a lot of times what we've done is said, hey, listen, the answer is no. If you need an answer right now, it's no. But if you give me time to consider it, then we might change our mind. It might be a yes, but we need time to consider it. So utilize the discipline of clear thinking in your business and your lifestyle as well. All right, let's do another round here of consumer advocate tips in our lightning round. Louise Harris.
Well, on the press releases, getting back to the event, you were saying that you had a media a section set aside for media.
That's right.
I have been to a lot of conferences. It's very common to do that, to have a space aside for the media to cover it, because yes, they can cover it during the event, but they can also cover it after the event. And it's after the event, the follow-up, that you actually get all the business that you get.
Right.
It's not the beginning event itself. So I think that's a very good plan to have that media set aside, and you need the press release to invite them, because they're not just going to know about it and just show up. They're going to have to have the press release, and then they'll call you and say, okay, I have I'm a member of so-and-so press. Here's my credentials. Please give me a press pass. And then you get a press pass to the event and you cover it.
Yeah.
So it's very helpful for events to do that.
I like it. All right, Ruth Watkins, Team Go Loans mortgage expert.
I would say that pretty much probably in all phases of life, rash and fast is probably not your best. There is a certain amount of deliberation in everything. And I personally have done this for many years. I keep scratch pads by me, and I write, and I call it random notes. And I write thoughts down that I know are important, but you can only think of 10 or 11 things at the same time. So I don't want it to go away, so I'll write down that note, whatever it is that's important to me, whatever I want to accomplish. And ultimately, just the pure fact of translating that to paper, and then maybe that random thought and note might come back again. It comes to fruition.
Let me ask you a question. Did you write this?
I did. No, I actually did.
I knew we wanted to get that one in.
Yeah. See, I like everything.
Ruth Watkins and Team Go.
Fun-loving.
Catchy.
Yeah. Alone.
Don't be like Sir Rince-A-Lot.
I like it. Sir Rince-A-Lot.
And Team Go at teamgoloans.com.
We were talking about that earlier in the show. I mean, that's a big one, right?
Yeah.
The renters out there. So, hey, great show today. Ruth Watkins, teamgoloans.com. Louise Harris in Last Research and Editing. She can help you write a book, and also some other items as well, press releases. So we want to thank our listeners out there, our viewers of our TV show, and all the followers on Facebook and Instagram. We really appreciate you following us online, and we'd love to help you in any of your daily things, anything happening out in your life. We want to help you. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food, some clothing, hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community, and go out there and clean up the streams. There you go, and be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time here at Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.